Good afternoon, good morning, good evening to everyone out there, wherever you may be in the digital space. My name is Stephen Lippe, joined by Bruno Kellenberger from KYC Spider once again for the Digital Compliance Talk. And thank you very much for joining us, Bruno. How are you doing?
Thank you, Stephen. I'm doing very well, and it's a pleasure meeting you. I'm really looking forward.
Bruno, before we kick things off, in the last couple of calls and talks, we were going into different use cases for digital compliance. I recall there were some great talks in there, and today you asked for permission to sort of leave the use case track and go into a more general topic, which is SaaS, right? Tell us a bit more.
Absolutely. We have some clients, and they recently was asked by one of them to say, well, obviously everybody's talking about software as a service as the right deployment model for the future. How does that work in the compliance context? Is it really secure? And so on. So there seems to be some concern still in the market about a SaaS offering, and in particular about our KYC Spider services. And I thought it's worth to spend some minutes to explain why we do believe in that model and why there is not any doubt about safety, security, and so on.
So, I mean, the end of software is near. So all of a sudden, we're all talking about, not all of a sudden, but over the past couple of 10 years, 10, 15 years, we're talking about software as a service, and KYC Spider is a SaaS solution. But why exactly is it a SaaS platform?
I mean, first of all, we are obviously in a very dynamic environment, and clients are expecting us to monitor anti-money laundering issues worldwide, instantly, immediately, at least daily, but some clients are asking on real-time services. So basically, we have set up our platform in a way that we are continuously crawling the web, we are continuously downloading changes and integrating them. So we have really a model which is, at the end, a database. Our KYC records, they are updated not only once a day, they're updated continuously, and 7/24 by 365 days. And in that context, it's obviously the most logical decision to say, let's first deploy our solution in a SaaS model, which makes immediately all the data accessible to our clients.
So, but when you're out there talking to clients, obviously there is a topic out there, or it is an issue for certain clients. I mean, what are the main concerns then? I mean, is it industry specific? Is it vertical specific? Or is it, I don't know, is it other patterns?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it is slightly industry specific, because in particular in the financial industry, there are concerns about data residency, whether the data stays in the country or not. In particular in Switzerland, you would still need to have consent from the bank's client if banking data is stored outside the country. And obviously, on one side, we have the KYC record, which is a collection of worldwide data in the context of anti-money laundering, sanctions, and so on. But obviously, those data are already global, while on the other hand, you're checking that against real potential clients. And that's one of the concerns about that SaaS immediately is meant that data sits anywhere, somewhere in the cloud, in the US in particular. And obviously that's not true, in particular in our setup, because even in a SaaS operating model, we can clearly distinguish where data is sitting, and we are committed, for instance, that data is sitting in Switzerland. We are leveraging those in a FINMA certified data center. So from that perspective, that's not necessarily interlinked.
So what you're saying is the data itself, they're all in a Swiss cloud. Is that correct? What I'm hearing?
Exactly. It's basically a private cloud setup. So we are leveraging technology of a cloud in order to deploy the software, to make it immediately available, to also bring down release cycles, to minutes or even seconds rather than hours and days. So from that perspective, technology-wise, we are fully leveraging all the possibilities provided by cloud technology. On the other hand, data is safely stored in a Swiss data center, which is certified according to the highest security measures, ISO certifications, FINMA approved. So that's basically the distinction.
So how would you address, like, there are certain concerns, like, for example, one of them is, fear of loss of control of the data, number one, or, for example, slow connection could be one, or I don't know, no connection could be one. For example, you're losing connection on the server. How would you respond to those, not common, but at least those deal breakers when you're talking to clients?
Absolutely. I mean, in reality, we usually strive to really understand what is the client use case, in what context does the client need to do a KYC check, and what are other tools involved, what is the process actually when the client is using that. And so far, we didn't really find a use case which works completely without any internet connection. Can be as soon, for instance, as you delegate activities to your final client by means of a self-onboarding, for sure, without any connectivity, it won't work. Yeah. Even though if you're using your own ERP systems where you're doing an onboarding, where you're doing a check, they don't work anymore without any connectivity. So from that perspective, we barely have any use case which needs to work in an offline mode. So from that perspective, there is no real issue, because
So originally it was always built as a software as a service solution. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Okay. For instance, that means also that the solution is always online, even though we are updating data. So we can really do those continuous updates without jeopardizing any functionality. And second, we really, even if we are providing new releases with major functional enhancements, we do not have any issue with, for instance, major release windows. Basically, our release window is officially 10 minutes. But usually we don't need a lot of those 10 minutes. We need 2-3 minutes.
Many of our viewers probably do not know that KYC Spider is not like a new kid on the block. How long have you been around now?
I mean, we are here since 18 years and serving clients since 18 years from the very beginning of that. And obviously, roughly 3 years ago, we did kind of reinvent our platform, and we brought it to the next level. And there, I'm very happy that the decision has been taken to provide that as a SaaS platform.
Yeah, cool. So
I mean, don't forget as well that we have even tier 1 financial institutions who do audit our platform on a regular basis. So we have security audits, and which are, by the way, always passed, so we have no issue there. And that obviously is an immediate benefit because the platform has been audited. So that works for everybody who is using the platform.
Well, I should really hope so, that it's everything is safe and sound with you guys. So we're running out of time. So the last question would be, if you're talking to the audience today, what would be your conclusion of today's call as refers to SaaS solution for KYC Spider?
I think the main conclusion is, in today's world, in particular for compliance topics, accuracy and actual data is key. And in that environment, a SaaS platform is the adequate solution to cover that. All the concerns with regards to data residency, but also with regards to latency and so on, in the meanwhile, they are really overcome. We have solutions for all of them. And last but not least, data is not somewhere in a cloud in the US or in Russia. Data is really sitting in Switzerland, clearly identified where it is, and absolutely safe and secure.
Nothing wrong with American and Russian data centers, is there, right? nevertheless, we're in Switzerland, so we can yodeling data with KYC Spider. Thank you so much, Bruno, and looking forward to the next talk. Is there anything you'd like to add for today?
No, it was a pleasure talking to you about this topic. Next time we'll deep dive a bit more in business content again. Thanks a lot, Stephen.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a wonderful day. Once again, that was Bruno Kellenberger, CEO, KYC Spider, based out of Switzerland with the yodeling data. With that said, have a wonderful day, everyone, and signing off.